guys, it's Andrea from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and I have a very simple post for you guys today. I'm simply sharing my home all decorated with lilacs. I love lilacs. It's one of my favorite parts about May. At the very end of the month, all of the lilac bushes begin to bloom, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I went on a bike ride with my husband and my boys last night, and they are just all over just our block, all over the neighborhood, and we saw so many beautiful colors. And so I thought it would be fun to just take you around my home and show you how I decorate with lilacs, and then some tips and tricks for keeping lilacs alive a little bit longer in your home. I know they don't last very long once you cut them, and so on Instagram in my stories I asked you guys how to keep lilacs alive longer, when to cut them, what to put in your water, things like that, and you guys delivered for sure. So I have plenty of tips to share with you at the end of this video. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy this little mini tour of our home filled with beautiful fresh lilacs. There is one thing that I talked about in the blog post that I have written in connection with this video, and I just touched briefly on creativity and why creativity is important. And I know that today's post is very simple. It's just photos and video footage of lilac, and it seems sort of frivolous and silly, but today's post honestly was just exactly what I needed. We have just been in project mode like crazy around here. It's my personality, it's who I am. I am constantly moving, constantly thinking of the next thing to do. I am not one to sit around. Really, I'm not one to rest at all, and so it's very difficult for me to just sit and be still. And that's one thing that I want to work on this summer with my boys, is to be still and to be in the moment with them. And I talked about this on my Instagram stories last week, I think, and had so many supportive messages come in from you guys, but it's one of my weaknesses. It's something I struggle with. I'm not a good listener because my mind is constantly going, I'm constantly thinking, and that's a weakness of mine, and it's something that like I said, I really struggle with. In my blog post, I just touch briefly on creativity and why it's so important to me, and why I think we have the desire to create. If you're anything like me and you just enjoy the simple things, something beautiful like cutting fresh lilacs, it's so simple. But I can't tell you how much this post just fed my creative soul, and it had nothing to do with a deadline or a collaboration or anything like that. It was just me and my camera and these gorgeous lilacs. And so anyways, if you want to head to the blog post and read more about that, you can. So just a few tips about lilacs. A lot of you guys had some great suggestions. And one of them was to make sure you cut lilacs first thing in the morning, very early in the morning if you can, when they're still covered in the morning dew, because at the end of the day, especially after a long hot day, the flowers are just dehydrated and they will wilt and fade fast. So try to cut them first thing in the morning, and then when you cut them off the branch, look for the thicker stems. A lot of the thinner stems that I cut didn't last very long. You want to be sure that you cut on a 45-degree angle so that that stem has a lot of surface area for it to be able to drink up that water that you put the stem in. And then another tip was to smash the end of your stems with a hammer, which I did, and that really opens that woody stem up even more to absorb more water. One of the most important things, of course, is to be sure you plunge your stems right into water, the cut ends, right into water the moment you cut them. You don't want to clip lilac stems and then just leave them out of water for a long time. Make sure you put them into water immediately. And there were some different suggestions as far as what to put in the water. Some people said to try a little bit of sugar to keep your stems lasting longer. Some people said to use floral preservative. And then some said to crush up an aspirin, and that would help to keep the water free of bacteria, which I thought was interesting. I didn't have any aspirin on hand, but I did try the fertilizer and the sugar, and I cut my stems early Tuesday morning, and it's Friday today, and most of them are still going strong. A lot of them have already faded and wilted though. So It's interesting to see what works and what doesn't work. I think next year I'm going to try the aspirin for sure because a lot of people suggested that. And if you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. I did try to rescue a few. I don't know if you've ever tried it with hydrangeas. You can take them out, get some fresh warm water, or even plunge them into water completely and you can revive the hydrangea flower, but not with lilacs. No matter what I tried, once they begin to wilt, they are done. So unless you know of a secret tip, please let me know what the secrets are. One more tip: when you are going to put your stems into water, it's good to remove all of the leaves that will be below the water line. I was also told that if you remove all of the leaves, then your flowers will last much longer as well. I personally like to have some leaves in my floral arrangements. I think they're beautiful and they add some depth, and I don't know, they're just really pretty. So I don't like to remove all of mine, but you could definitely do that if you're trying to make them last longer. If anything that you saw today inspires you, I just want to say that it means so much when you guys click on my blog posts and go to my actual blog. You can pin the images over there and that helps me so much. You have no idea what that does for my website. And by the way, if you are really trying to get a hold of me, and maybe I'm not responding to all of the comments here on YouTube, I try my best, I really do. But if there is something you're curious about or wondering about and I haven't responded to a comment here on YouTube, please head over to my blog and leave a comment there. I am much more likely to answer the comments there because there's just not as many to keep up with, but I do try to do my best to filter through the comments. I see every single one of them and they mean so much to me. You guys are so supportive and amazing. Well, I hope these tips and tricks helped you, and I hope that this post was still inspiring to you today, even though it wasn't filled with a whole lot of information. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, please be sure and hit that subscribe button. Bye guys.